Hi everyone, my name is Elisa Gordon and welcome to my channel. On this channel, I will be talking about academic research. So I will talk about the thesis process and conducting that research, but I want to focus primarily on the dissertation research process. I find that that's what most people have an issue with, right? They tend to have more problems conducting their dissertation study versus their thesis study. So I will also talk about the publication process, right? Trying to get your manuscript published and what to look for in journals. So that will really be the primary focus of this channel. I decided to create this channel because again, also having a PhD, I find that a lot of people seem to have a problem with certain aspects of the dissertation research process. They usually have issues with deciding on the topic that they should do, right? And some people have an issue with figuring out how to be specific with their study, with their dissertation topic. So I really want to dive deep into this and just to educate you all out there who may be struggling with this and just to give you some value on this channel. So if you do find value on this channel at any point, I would really appreciate it if you will subscribe to this channel. So to give you a little bit more of, or to tell you a little bit more about me and who I am, again, my name is Elisa Gordon, and I have a PhD in health sciences with a specialization in health professions leadership. I also have a master's degree in public health and a bachelor's degree in psychology. I am a research scientist. I currently conduct research primarily on cancer, so different types of cancer. And so I have learned a lot since I completed my PhD, learned a lot more, but I also learned a lot during the entire PhD process and that journey. And I want to share those tips with you, the tips that helped me to be efficient in the process and not to lose focus, right? To actually get the job done. There are a lot of people, I know people who started the process and they never finished. So on this channel, I really want to help those of you who may be struggling with any aspects of your dissertation journey. I want to help to make that process easier and more manageable for you. So today I will quickly share the top 6 things that you should not do when you're writing your dissertation. And so I am going to actually share my screen. Most of the videos that I will be creating on this channel really will be in the form of a Zoom presentation. So I'm actually recording this on Zoom right now, and this is the way that I plan to do most of the videos for this channel, because I don't know much about editing or anything like that yet, and I'm a teacher at heart, and so I really do like to show people the points and things that I'm talking about. So I will actually stop my video right now and start sharing my screen with you all. Okay, I hope you're all seeing my screen now. I will stop my video share for a moment. Okay, so what not to do when writing your dissertation. And again, these are the top 6 things that you should not do. I thought about this and I came up with about 30 or 35 or so things that you should not do when you're writing your dissertation. Today I will cover the first 6, and I will now in the next 2 or so videos I will cover the remaining things that you should not do when you're writing your dissertation. So the first thing that I have here, first item, is do not procrastinate. So procrastination often leads to a lack of sufficient time, right, for you to thoroughly conduct your research, to write your paper, as well as to present and revise your dissertation. It can also increase your stress level, how anxious you get, and this can make the writing process more challenging, more difficult for you. So you really need to avoid procrastination as much as possible. You need to set a consistent writing schedule, and you have to stick to that schedule. Do not deviate from that schedule. If you say that you are going to write every Monday and Wednesday, for example, from 5 to 7 p.m., you need to stick to that, okay? So even if what you're writing in the moment may not make sense to you, stick to it, because it is much easier to go back and edit to something than to start writing it from scratch. The second point is to do not start writing without having a clear plan. So if you don't have a structured plan or outline of what your dissertation will be about or what you will cover in your dissertation, then the dissertation itself may become disorganized and you will definitely lose focus. So you should have an outline, right, to ensure that your arguments will flow logically and that you will cover all the necessary sections. You should start with a detailed outline, and then you should refine it as you progress in your writing. So the more you write, the more you will refine what you're writing about. So of course, you know that the dissertation, or those of you who are already doing your in this process of this phase of your dissertation, of your PhD journey, you will know that you need to have 6 chapters in your dissertation. So the first one is the introduction. The second is the literature review. The third chapter should cover your methodology. The fourth will be your results chapter. The fifth chapter is your discussion chapter. And your last chapter should be your conclusion chapter. The third point that I have here is do not ignore the guidelines. And so there are specific guidelines that each institution has, and your particular university may have certain guidelines that another university may not have. So it is very important for you to actually follow the specific formatting and submission guidelines of your university. So ignoring these guidelines can lead to the dissertation actually being rejected, or you requiring to do extensive revisions to it. So you should carefully review your institution's guidelines, and then you should ensure that your work complies with those guidelines from the beginning. So do not ignore them in the beginning and say, okay, I will figure it out later, or I will research that later. I will ask my dissertation committee members or committee chair about this later. Never do that. It's very important that you know the guidelines, you know the formatting requirements from the get-go, and you follow them. The next point is do not neglect your supervisor's feedback. So your supervisor's feedback is crucial. It's very important, right? Because they're the ones who will sign off on things, and for you to move from point A to point B to point C to point Z, right? To actually presenting and submitting your final manuscript. So it's important that you do follow you do listen to them, right? And you take their feedback, with a grain of salt, right? You may not necessarily agree with everything your supervisor is saying, and that is fine. You can, as long as you have good reasoning, right? You can definitely argue the point. You can or what you want to do, right? Or your point. So you can ask them, you can explain to them why you want to keep your paper or that section of the paper the way that you have it now, and why you don't think that their way of how they want you to change it is the best thing for you to do. So as long as you're able to reason that, then you should be fine. And most dissertation committee chairs, you're the one who selected them anyway, so you're somebody you should know very well, and you should know how they operate. So most of them will really be understanding, as long as they know that as long as they see that you're arguing the point and it makes sense, right? So you're being logical about, and you make it just rational, right? In terms of why you want to keep your paper the way it is. So ignoring their advice though can really lead to result in like weak arguments. It can lead to gaps in your research, and it can lead to missed opportunities for improving your paper. So you should regularly meet with your supervisor as well. Even if you're not able to meet with the entire committee, your entire dissertation committee, you should try to meet with your dissertation committee chair very frequently, I'd say at least once per month during the process. And you should implement their suggestions whenever possible. So you should, and that is once per month, like at the beginning, and then when things toward the end, when things are really heating up, when you're almost there. Okay, in between it can certainly be maybe once every 3 or 4 months. So you should also, the next point that I have is that you should not choose a vague topic. So a broad and unclear topic can really make it difficult for you to focus your research and to formulate a coherent argument. You should choose a specific, well-defined research question that is manageable within the scope of your dissertation. So do not be too general. For instance, I completed my dissertation study on high blood pressure, right, or hypertension. And that is a very broad topic, right? It's very general. So I had to be way more specific with that. I had to decide on, okay, who my study participants would be, right? So what population I wanted to focus on for my study, and what about that population? So where were their gaps in the research, and what gaps could I literally close, right, in the study? So then again, literature review, so important for you to conduct, and I'll talk about that in the next point. But it's very important that you conduct your literature review, you conduct your research, right, and that will help you to write a literature review and to see where are there gaps in the data, in the research, and to figure out, okay, what topic can I come up with to close any of those gaps, right? So the last point that I'm going to share with you today, that things that you should not do, is you should not skip research. So a thorough research is the foundation of a strong dissertation. So skipping this step can really lead to superficial analysis and very weak arguments. So you should conduct a comprehensive literature review and ensure that you gather sufficient data to support your claims. So again, not knowing the focus of your study, that can also cause you to not know exactly what you should be looking at, what you should be researching, right? So it is very important that you make sure that you are very specific with your topic. You should make sure that you know exactly what you need to research on. And one of the things I want to cover as well in a later video are how to spot those gaps, how to figure out, okay, where are the gaps in the research, right, in the data that's available out there on a specific topic. So those are the 6 points. Again, I will summarize them. So it's: do not procrastinate, do not lack a clear a clear plan, right? So don't start writing before you have a clear plan. You should not ignore the guidelines of your university. You should not neglect your supervisor's feedback. You should not choose a topic that is too general, that is too vague. Choose one that is specific instead, and make sure that you do not skip research. So those are the 6 points that I want to share with you today. And I will go ahead and continue go ahead with this. Give me one moment. Okay, so I'm back on with you. So that is really the focus here. And I hope that you learned something, that you had some value from this video. And if you do, please give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. Please like this video and share it with anyone. If you have anyone else in your program, in your PhD program, who may benefit from this video, please share this video with them, and please comment in the comment section below if you gained any value from this. What I also would like you to do is to actually comment and let me know what are the things that you're struggling with, right, in your dissertation journey. Where are what are things that you don't understand what to do, or what are things that you would like me to actually do more videos on? So hope to see you soon. You take care. Bye for now.